welcome everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Katherine. I am the podcast host of Chakras and Cusswords podcast, and I concentrate on a lot of astrology, the chakra system, and overall energy as a whole. I don't necessarily consider myself a astrologer, but I do work in astrology energy and astrological alignments and certain transits and events. I consider myself more of an alchemist because I am more centered in the study of energy versus astrology, even though astrological energy is one of the things that we take in as souls, right? Every day we take in the astrological transits that are happening every day. And we have a big one coming up, a super exciting new full moon in Leo. And this full moon in Leo is our first full moon for 2024, for the year of 8, as some might say, right? For this new year, it's time to have some new movement. It's time to have some new area. It's time to have some new growth and some new possibilities. And this full moon is really tied into creating areas of intentions and creating areas of manifesting. And what I love about this full moon is all of the planets are currently, I believe all of the planets are currently direct, except for is Uranus. I believe Uranus is direct, but I believe all the planets are direct. Mercury is not in retrograde. Venus is not in retrograde. For the most part, it's a good time to create intentions. And we have to look at this full moon. We just had one of the biggest astrological events happening in the last 15 years. And this event hasn't happened in like 264 years, I believe. And that was basically Pluto leaving the sign of Capricorn and transitioning over to Aquarius. And when we look at that area of change, we have to look at what's next to come, not only for the collective, but as ourselves as an individual, what's next to come on a more individual base. Pluto is known as that kind of like dark energy, that little scary energy. It's kind of known as the belly of the beast, as one might say. You know, Pluto is a very mystical planet that has a lot to do with areas of like the underworld, areas of shadow, area of movement, death, rebirth, and transformation. So of course that sounds like super scary and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Well, if we take a look at what happened when Pluto was in Capricorn, we saw that there was a lot of demise in areas of the last 15 years of how we really saw like leadership and government. We have to remember that Capricorn kind of is that energy of government, and we had a lot of challenges that were coming to life with areas of the government, and a lot of us saw that. We also had a lot of challenges, a lot of secrets, a lot of areas of transformation, of new age thinking, still kind of being tied into people wanting to have us think a certain way, or the area of logic. A lot of us have moved on to a higher sense and a higher sense of enlightenment, and a lot of that had to do with the transitioning of Pluto moving out towards that area away from Capricorn and changing its focus. And we saw that when Pluto was transitioning into Aquarius earlier in 2023, there was a lot of areas around technology. That's when a lot of people were really hearing about AI for the first time, but AI has been advancing, but we're going to see more of it. We're going to see more of AI. We're going to see more of things that seem out of this world, and maybe they are things that actually have been in this world before, but way before our lifespan, right? Way before our dimensional passage, and they're kind of coming back up. So we're going to see some energy of the secrets of the collective being shown to us in the next 20 years as Pluto is in Aquarius. We're also going to have that conscious state where we're making decisions for ourselves. And this is kind of what this full moon in Leo represents. It represents that energy of the Leo, of being a little bit brave, standing out, taking that leadership, taking that ownership of what you have, what you control, what you're centered on. And we see the Leo as a very strong zodiac. The Leo is ruled by the sun. It is known as being one of that energy of a fixed sign, as the sun is being opposed, or the moon is being opposed by the sun. We do have Aquarius opposing with Pluto, with the sun in Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius, where it's making a direct opposition with the full moon in Leo. But that might make our challenges, and it might make some of our areas of challenges feel a little bold and feel a little bit more like an obstacle for some people. And this is where I want you to really get in the state of mind of what the Leo has to offer. The Leo zodiac, and having a full moon in the Leo zodiac, is about ruling with your heart, as the Leo is really centered around the heart chakra energy, but also the solar plex energy as well, because the Leo is ruled by the sun. So it is time for you to take that power to acknowledge you can lead through the heart center. You can make these decisions of having new areas of intentions, as long as you put it towards the area of the heart, through the area of love and insight. So while there might be some challenges, some obstacles, it is really a place that you can create intentions and you can create strong manifestations. So for each of the zodiacs, it is a little bit different. I recommend you look at where your Leo, what house your Leo is in, what area of that house that Leo is ruling. Also, you can look at where it is aligned in your birth chart, see where you could create intentions towards that. But I will be doing a reading for the signs in the elements. So I'm going to start the reading. And I will tell you that I go into the same order that I always go in. So I will actually start with the fire signs. So this is a reading that is filled with areas of good intention, energy that is surrounded by inspiration, love, hope, and trust. If you feel like this reading does not resonate with you or does not resonate with you, you just give it back to the universe and let it pass. But if you feel like you can hear the message from the universe or the cosmos, then go ahead and take it in, because it's sent to you with love. So for the fire signs, if you are a fire sign, that means that you are either a Leo, a Sagittarius, or an Aries. I want you to know, in the area of the full moon in Leo, you should be creating intentions towards the area of solving some puzzles, the area of letting that wisdom kind of shine through. If you've been stuck in a decision right now and you've really actually been having a hard time figuring it out, or you've been a little bit stuck in what it is that you should come with as a resolution, and you've just kind of been like contemplating it, or if you've been having very vivid dreams that aren't making very much sense, I want you to really look at that heart chakra energy as a whole. I want you to look at the boundaries. I want you to also look at that area of wisdom and that area of insight that the heart chakra really brings in light, and also that area of bringing more energy to light. And also look at trust. So if you are having a hard time as a fire sign with trust, look at the reasoning behind it. Is it coming from old wounds? Is it coming from maybe you aren't trusting because there's a reason behind it, because maybe this person just isn't very trustworthy, and that might be something that you have to reflect on. Also, this is a good time for you to create intentions towards grounding and also water rituals. So even though you are a fire sign And most of the time people will say like to create intentions towards the same element that you are. And a lot of times I do that as well when I work with certain zodiacs. If it's a fire sign, we might be doing some candle rituals, we might be doing some fire intentions. But for this time, I actually want you to be centered around the earth and to be centered in the area of slowing down and listening to the mother sign. So if you have a mother sign or a feminine energy that you feel like has been speaking to you or maybe giving you gifts of wisdom, but for whatever reason you just haven't been able to hear it, I want you to take time, go out, ground, go out and listen, take that time in with nature. Also for the fire signs, it is a good time to do some water rituals. Water rituals could mean sipping your intentions, talking your intentions into your water, as simple as that sounds. It could mean a ritual bath, but really opening up that area where you're allowing that heart chakra energy to open up so you can overall make the decision that you need to make. And you know what that decision is. You know what that is. So that is for the fire signs. Also, I want to tell you that these reading rooms do go a little fast. So that's why the replays are on. That's why the video is up, is so you could go back and listen to it, because I do tend to read a little bit fast when I do the reading rooms. I don't want the rooms to be too long. So for the next element of zodiacs, that is going to be the water signs. If you are a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, you are a water sign. So for the water signs, it's actually a good time for you to not only make big decisions, but to kind of take that energy of leadership, and also for you to rule within the heart chakra as well, because a lot of this is going to be centered around the heart chakra, especially because it is happening with Leo. So we think heart chakra and we think solar plex, but also I want you to open up to that crown chakra energy as well, where that means that you trust the decisions you make and that you also take time to listen. I feel that there is either a companion or there is a opportunity waiting for you in the midst of the waters, right? And waiting for you kind of like a little further than what is easy to come by. But sometimes in this area of travel, or sometimes in this area of new, you have to really take the first steps to do it. You really have to take the first steps to do it. And I'm seeing a lot of root chakra energy as well with the water signs. So with the water signs, I want you to actually take in that energy of the root chakra and also the sacral chakra as well, because we also have to remember that water is a element of the sacral chakra. So if that is love, if that is passion, if that is intimacy, if that is kind of meeting somebody new or like traveling a distance to see them, it's actually seeing like you need to trust that decision that you're going to make, and you need to trust that area of intention. Also for the water signs, I want you to know that you are really a strong leader, and sometimes you kind of keep pushing that back because maybe the emotions are getting in the way, or maybe the areas of thought are really kind of like sparking back up, where you're like triple, double checking the decision. And sometimes you just have to let go and live in the moment and live in that energy. And that's okay for the water signs to do. Also for the water signs, I want you to take a good time to really look at relaxing in some of the energies of breath work and opening up that area of the lungs, doing some breathing techniques, and also looking at letting go of the area of control, or some might say like micromanaging. We can't always control everything, and that's really what surrendering to the universe means, right? Is acknowledging that everything is a plan, everything is a designed pattern, everything is aligned to us for a reason, even if it seems so tough at the time, or even if it seems like a huge obstacle, that there's some things that we just can't control. There are some things we just can't micromanage. There's some things we just have to let go of and let the surrender take over. And that's really what the water signs need to do, is just kind of surrender to the universe, let that kind of take control, have the area where you take that leap of faith. If it is traveling a little further, if it is traveling waters that seem very distant, but getting aligned in that area of journey, and also getting aligned with that area of adventure and love. So that is for the water signs. The next element of zodiacs are the earth signs. So if you are a Capricorn, if you are a Virgo or a Taurus, this is for you. And also, we just had today Venus, the planet of love and relationships and everything beautiful and indulgence of that feminine goddess energy, move into Capricorn. So for Venus moving into Capricorn, we want to look at that area of where we can create this success in our own passionate feminine energy. If that's working towards maybe your business, if that's working towards creating better bonds in your business, or creating more partnerships in your area of career or work, kind of lightening up a little bit and having that softer approach, that more feminine approach doesn't hurt, especially right now as we have Venus aligned with Capricorn. So for the earth signs, I'm going to tell you that this is a really good time for you to look at being brave and actually standing your ground. And people might feel, especially if you're a Taurus right now, they might be feeling like, you have a lot of rebellious energy. You have that energy that feels a little bit strong-willed, as we still have Jupiter in Taurus. But it's actually a good time for you to stand out in your own area of bravery and stand out in your own collective process. Understanding that even though you are a earth sign and you are very grounded, but you still have that impulse, you still have that spontaneous fire behind you that sometimes maybe people don't see, but you do have a lot of passion in you. Also for the earth signs, I want to say that this is a good time for you to create unions with your collective, for you to create areas of that energy of companionship, or working in your community, or creating that area of where the collective gets a chance to hear you, where the collective gets a chance to see you. Like I said before, we have Venus moving into Capricorn. So this is a good time for you to be working towards that area of bonds, of communicative bonds, if that could be with a career or a partnership. Also, this is a good time to create energy around contracts. Definitely, since we don't really have any major planets in retrograde, that this is a good time for you to look at new partnerships and new areas of wisdom around creating this energy alignment. Also for the earth signs, this is a good time for you to take some time to understand the higher energy of not only the cosmos, like of star bathing, but definitely for you to charge your crystals. If you have any crystals, this is a time for the earth signs to really charge them. And also, I want to say for the earth signs, if you can, charge them to the soil and to the cosmos. For the earth signs, a lot of time we're very grounded, right? We're very grounded as earth signs. I just know that it's very natural for earth signs to be grounded. So not only do you want to take your crystals outside and charge them to the ground of the earth, if you can, grass, soil, dirt, you could even put them by a plant, to a tree, something like that. Charge them, but also charge them outside so they can get that higher enlightenment from the cosmic energy, from the universe, from the stars, from the full moon in Leo, and really open that up. Also, this is a good time for you to look at your own activation of not just the heart chakra, like we talked about earlier, but also the solar plex as well. So if you can take some time to actually get outside and look at the moon, look at the just the cosmos, and take in that star bathing, really take in almost like that star seed energy, that multi-dimensional energy where maybe you are meditating underneath the stars. For the earth signs, this is really a good time for you to do that. And we are going to get into the next set of zodiacs, and I just want to let everybody know, if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. I won't be pulling anybody up because I'm going to do the reading, answer some questions if there are any, and then that will be it. And also, I just want to remind you, please check out Chakras and Cusswords podcast, and also the YouTube channel. That is my latest video and podcast, is Are You My Soulmate? The difference between soulmates, twin flames, and karmic relationships, for anybody who is interested. So let's get into the next zodiac element. So for the next zodiac element, and there was a huge energetic shift for most of the cardinal signs. We had the cardinal signs who were getting a lot of energy from Pluto, because Pluto was in Capricorn, and it was in there for about 15 years. And Pluto recently switched out from Capricorn and transitioned over to Aquarius. And Aquarius is a fixed sign. So the reason why it tends to create an alignment with the cardinal signs and the fixed signs is when you have a major astrological event like that. A lot of the fixed signs all have the same, well, not the same, but usually the same transits kind of happen at the same time. So when there's planetary alignments, they all kind of like work in this pattern and match up together. Same with the cardinal signs. So for instance, like Aquarius right now has Pluto. We're in Sun of Aquarius. We have a full moon in Leo. Leo is a fixed sign as well. It's because the moon is opposing the sun. So the sun is also aligned with Pluto. So the Pluto is opposing not just the area of the moon, but also creating that alignment with Leo as well. So there is that energy shift. So for the fixed signs, and I don't want you guys to like freak out and be like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? Karmic energy. Oh my gosh, what does this mean for the next 20 years? It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. it's a energy thing, right? And when we live in our own karmic energy, when we live in our own area of insight, of consciousness, we have the purpose, we have the placements of controlling and creating manifesting abilities, and also creating what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and acknowledging that. When people are living in their own karmic energy and understanding the way the cosmos work and understanding the way the karmic energy works, we understand that Pluto is going to unveil some secrets. Pluto is going to make us feel challenged if we aren't living in our karmic energy and we aren't living in the better notion for the collective. That seeing that we are all the same, no matter what, we are all the same, no matter race, gender, religion, we're all the same. We're all souls. We're all in this life path together until we acknowledge that separation is created to divide us, so we can't all work as our highest conscious state, is basically what is most of our challenges. Being here on this pathway, being here on this planet really shows us. So for us, and we're not perfect, right? Like there's times that we can't always be, like in this spiritual presence that feels so aligned and feels so beautiful all the time, right? There's times that reality strikes, we get angry, maybe we say some things, we do some things that we later regret, but it's acknowledging it. And it's taking that time to improve, of growth. And it's taking that energy where you move and grow in the right space that makes your pathway a little bit more of an easy flow, instead of creating more karmic energy that makes it feel more of an obstacle. And understanding that there isn't necessarily this linear path where we live this righteous life and then, we get to be blessed by heaven or we get to be blessed by hell. We are either in the conscious state of right here, right now, or what's the point, right? Like, what's the point? Just, we have to understand that this could possibly be our heaven. This could possibly internally be our hell. We don't know until we go to the other dimension, but just knowing that we have to live in our own karmic energy. So that's really what Pluto is here to teach us with this energy for the fixed signs. Also for the fixed signs, it is a time that you're going to want to not be scared to make some transitions, make some transformations, and not be scared to move past and close certain chapters. So let's get into the reading for the full moon for the air signs. So for the air signs, this is a time that you're actually going to really open your eyes. Open your eyes of who is in your circle, who has been hiding, who has been lying, who has been not showing you their pure essence, who has been holding you down, who has been holding you back. We have to remember that negative energy will feed off of positive energy. When we have energetic vampires around us, sometimes we know and sometimes we don't know, right? Sometimes we do not know. Sometimes we honestly think that there are people around us with really good intentions, but in all honesty, they are using our energy for their own growth. They are using our energy for their own selfish nature, right? And what we have to understand is, even if, right, maybe there's somebody who isn't necessarily an energy vampire and just sucking our energy dry and just using us, we do have to remember that we have to receive energy that we know, sometimes we know this energy is not necessarily right, or we know this energy is not necessarily beneficial. And we have to take the step to inform the other, to guide the other, to embrace the other. And I'm not saying to stick with anybody who is lying or not showing their pure energy to you or anything like that. I'm saying when we see something that doesn't sit right with us as an air sign, we need to uphold that energy where we say, yes, this is not right. Or we say, I'm going to remove myself from this situation because this situation is not aligned with my current energy. This situation is not aligned with who I am. This energy is not what I am here for. It's not what I uphold. It's not what I stand for. And really, this is what it is that there are certain people who are here to help guide the collective, to help teach the collective. And for an air sign, it is your designed power to use that throat chakra, to use that heart chakra, and to speak up when you need to acknowledge what it is that you need to, especially with the third eye of trusting your intuition, trusting your intentions, trusting your crown chakra for the air signs. And I don't want the air signs to be like, oh my gosh, somebody's lying to me. Nobody is necessarily lying to you, but it's acknowledging when the energy is off with you, because there have been people in maybe your past, or there may be people in your present, right, that might have blindfolded you to certain things, or may have played you in a way that they were using your good, pure energy for their own selfish reasons. So that's something for the air signs. Also, it's in time for you to surrender to the sweetness, to definitely use that Venus energy, to look at energy of joy, and to really embrace life, to make love to life, to make love to the area of life where you are. And what I love about this new, genre that is going on the social media platforms, if it's Instagram or if it's TikTok, and they're romanticizing or making my life feel beautiful, right? And I think as an air sign, it is okay for you to romanticize your life. It is okay for you to make everything feel a little bit luxurious. For some of the air signs, it doesn't come that easy. The air signs are a masculine zodiac. So take that time to kind of soften it up a little bit. Add that feminine nature in there. Add that romance in there and let it hold, even when you are speaking up with your throat chakra and living within your core message of what is right in your energy alignment, but also taking that time to soften up the life a little bit. So I want to thank everybody who popped in this room and listened to the reading. And I don't see any comments, so I am going to end the room. So please, follow and subscribe to Chakras and Cusswords podcast and YouTube channel. And if you can, give me a review on Chakras and Cusswords on Spotify. It helps me move up the podcasting ladder, so I would greatly appreciate that. And everybody have an amazing day and an amazing full moon in Leo, which is happening on January 25th, 2024, the first full moon at 12:54 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, 12:54 p.m. Eastern time. It's also known as the wolf moon. So get into your leadership abilities. Not only do we have the Leo energy of the lion, but we also have the wolf. So just know that you are here to guide, you are here to lead, and you are here to create amazing things. And everybody have an amazing day. Bye.